Hi, fellow traders. I hope you guys had a great day today. I got a quick quote for you. This is a quote by Benjamin Franklin. It says, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Or involve me and I will learn." And this is the philosophy that I based my teaching on way back when. I think I went to a conference after the first year I was in the classroom, and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is perfect. And it's what I brought over into my trading. Now, yesterday, I want to clarify something because somebody asked me, well, I had a couple people ask me this question, but I have no negative thoughts or anything about any of the larger trading communities that have multiple people in it and all of that. I have nothing against them. No, I think they do great things. I was asked a question about what makes me different, what's different about my community, and that's why I shared the things that I shared. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of people in my community that's in these other larger communities. And when you come in here, it's like just coming into a focused classroom where if you were going to learn a subject and you just had one teacher to teach you and you don't have all of these different voices coming at you from different places. When you first start out, you really don't know what type of trading you like. You don't know what style of trading you like. And yeah, joining a bigger room and having different people trading different ways, that's how you get exposed to things. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just another option to when you decide this is the type trading that you want to do. And this is what you're mostly comfortable with. And you want to build on that. That's where I come in. And that's why I keep the community small. That's why I keep it focused so I can answer every email. I can do all the mentor sessions, because that's what it's going to require once you get to this point. It's going to require that kind of focus. So no, I don't have anything against the larger chat rooms, the larger communities. Nothing at all. I'm just a different option. A smaller, more focused option on a specific style of trading. And like I said, there's a lot of people that they're in other rooms too, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. So hopefully that clears that up. So let's look at today. And excuse me, guys, but I have to say this. Another shit day for me. Let me say it again. Another shit day for me. It just felt good coming out the first time. I mean, I don't know if the market, when you get this way, you feel like it's personal. It's the market is saying, okay, you got me last month because I had a really good month last month. I only had 3 red days. And then now I'm starting the month of March off with 2 red days. Now they're manageable, they're in control, but the fact of the matter is the way that I'm coming up red is it's kind of frustrating, and it makes me take it personally, like the market is out to sabotage me. That somebody's sitting there watching everything I do and say, hey, we're going to dangle this in front of you. And as soon as you reach out for it, they're like, oh, you got to be quicker than that. It makes me think about that commercial where the guy has $1 on a fishing pole, dangling it out there, and the girl tries to grab it. And he's like, oh, you almost had it. Got to be quicker than that. That's what it feels like. But I just don't know. I just don't know. But this morning we started out with KSS You can see what happened when it announced earnings. It gapped up and then it sold back off, and it just kind of looked like it was weak. It just wasn't anything going on. So we had this candle here. Then the second candle, nice sell candle. I couldn't get in right here because I would be shorting into the 100, the 200, and red to green. So I just waited until we got under red to green. And would have been fine if it bounced and retest this. I'd have been 100% okay with it and would have considered adding a couple of hundred shares to it because it's only a $40 stock. I could add 200 more shares to this and be really comfortable. But as soon as I got in, this thing ripped up. And then we started selling off again. And when we bounced off of this, it just showed that it was not going to fade. That we weren't going to come back. We weren't going to fade this. And we were going to recover. So, you know, it's just one, it didn't work. So I was okay with this. I was fine. I was like, okay, it just didn't work out. Whatever the case is, could be, you don't know why it doesn't work out. There's no way we can know. We can speculate, but unless we're polling the people that are actually moving the market, we have no idea why they're doing what they're doing. So I accepted that. And look at what happened to this later on in the day. Now, this one doesn't show my interest because I actually took a snapshot out of my swing account because that was the account I was trading in aftermarket, which you'll get to in a minute. But it doesn't have the arrows on. I didn't think about that until after I had made all of this, and I wasn't going back redoing it. So, but this was just to illustrate what happened to this stock after it shook me out. It ended up making the move that I was looking for it to make. So I go back and I'm like, you know what? This is just ridiculous. So TGT, here's the one. I kind of waited on it. Was waiting on some trend continuation. I could not get in above the 200. And this was like pre-market support in through here. So I wasn't going to get in until we broke through both of these. You can see where this support held up along with the 200. So once we got through the 200 and that support, I got in. This is the daily 200. First place I took profit. Second target, this level right here. And because yesterday it came within 1 cent, 2 cents, or whatever, I give it 5 cents. I gave it a 5 cent cushion. You know this damn thing came within a couple cents of that and bounced and didn't take that. And, you know, I ended up stopping out once we got over the 200. Again, it wasn't break even. It wasn't max loss or whatever. Or at this point, it was break even. But we showed that the trend was changing. That we bounced. This was the third candle to make a higher low. We had claimed the 200 back. So I jumped in. I got out of it. So I was okay with that. But really frustrated that we came within a couple cents again of my target. Now, I already had the order sitting there and it didn't hit it. It didn't come that close. And we bounced. So at that point, I'm a little frustrated. And so I do something that I really shouldn't have done. But you can see on this chart, I just printed a one for all day. Nothing. We didn't get anything beyond 104. It never really hit my target. So this one was, I would have been okay with this. It just came within a couple of cents, and that just triggered yesterday. And so I got a little bent. And so then now I'm saying, oh, the market's gonna roll over, so I'm just gonna ride Roku down. I'm not gonna go long. I don't want to go long TVIX because I'm not comfortable with the volatility in it right now. Could have done SQQQ. Could have easily done that, but I'm thinking Roku's I can get in with 300 shares. Roku can move 10 points, and I could be in really good shape here. So I'm thinking of trading this with the market. What a dumbass idea. Just dumb. Why would I think that? And why would I even consider doing that? If I want to trade the market, I need to trade the indices. If it's going to go down, and if TVIX is not doing well, I could trade SQQQ. That's slower. That's going to help. That's going to be okay. But why would I mean, I don't even know. So after I get stopped out, I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm through for the day. I shut this damn thing off, and that was it. We're done. That's where everything stopped, right here. Because I was done. Over, finished, through with this market. And I needed to take some time and try to figure out what was going on. So I realized I had certain expectations of the market. Not so that it made me make bad trading decisions. It messed with my head. And it got me to start making bad decisions in terms of jumping in this Roku trade. So I was able to identify it quickly and not continue to make even more bad decisions. One of the two things we need to be aware of and always keep in our minds when we're trading and to help us manage our expectations is, number one, realize and understand that anything can happen in the market at any time. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't. It can just happen. So we got to understand that anything can happen in the market at any time. And also, and this is from Mark Douglas here, that every trade is unique. He always would say, just remember, every trade is unique. That no two trades are the same. So even though I'm trading the same setup, the stocks have the same catalyst, the charts look the same, they're not going to trade the same from day to day. They can have everything else identical, but the trades are going to look different, feel different. You're going to get a different experience from it. And so those are the two things that you got to keep in mind when it comes to managing our expectations. So I was at the point where I was expecting these things to happen and that there was no chance that it was going to fail. That this is going to work. This is perfect. But I was smart enough to put in my stops, and I was smart enough to stop out when the market told me that my plan was dead. But I kind of had problems with my expectations. So that's what it was. So today, lost $377.84. And if you look at this, KSS was the first trade. Even though TGT, we didn't get the complete trade, I got, maybe 2/3 of the trade. It pretty much evened out between, it took care of the loss on KSS. So had I hit that final target, then I would have been profitable. And, everything would have worked out good for that. But then I jump in Roku and take almost a $400 loss on it because I'm a dumbass and I'm chasing the market, trading Roku, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. None. So, that's when I realized things were not good. Because you see, I mean, I lost 377.84. So pretty much what I lost on Roku is what I'm red for today. Had I kept my hands in my pocket and waited, there were a lot of other opportunities that I could have traded. So that was that. And you can take a look at Roku. Look at what happened here after it stopped me out. Look at that. Had I traded it like I was supposed to trade it, trend continuation, I would have nailed this thing. But no, I'm trading it chasing the market, and it came back and bit me. So it is what it is. All right, so we did have one earnings trade. So you guys that were here after I got back from my son, I told you about the stocks I was looking at. The one stock I was looking at, VEEV. I know I got the email out a little late for you to do any research on it, but some of you guys are just trying to learn the strategy and understand what's happening. Because this is not a strategy that you need to try to trade if you don't know how to trade, if you're not consistently profitable. But you can learn about it. You can learn how to read, understand what earnings are about. And it can also help you when we trade in the morning, when we trade the earnings plays in the morning during the opening range. You know, you'll have a better understanding of it. So there's nothing wrong with trying to learn the foundation and the fundamentals, but I would not suggest trying to trade this because it is a little bit more riskier. And if you're in a smaller account, it can seriously hurt you or set you back. And so that's why I always recommend that you don't do it, and why I do not tell you my entries until after I'm already in it. Whether win, lose, or draw, you're going to see it. But I'm not calling out entries because I had too many people just trying to follow me and not really understand what was going on. Took some huge losses when they didn't need to. And I don't want that happening. So I do teach the strategy. I work with you on it, but I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you the stock I'm looking at, but I'm not going to tell you I'm in it right now. Because I don't do alerts, and I don't want you following me in the trade. I want you to get in it because you have conviction and you've done your due diligence and you understand the strategy. But this was it, you know, and we have the classes. I do have the classes in there for you to look at. I have one that talks about how I read the earnings report. This comes directly from Earnings Whispers. I do have a subscription with them because I trade earnings and I need as much data that I can get without having to go dig it up, spend less time doing it. So VEEV, this is the one that we got in. Now I always get in prior to the close because you see what happens when the stock closes or the market closes, the spreads get wide and it's impossible to get in. So this is VEV. So this is the entry prior to the close. Look at the volume that came in on the 5-minute candle after the market closed. And then once it announced earnings, we didn't get hardly any volume. I mean, and I had my orders out at 147, 148. I couldn't decide which one to put it at. So I put the first one at 147.50 at 148. And then my final target was going to be 150. Well, you can see what happened here. There's no volume. And this thing came all the way back down and it hit me at, I had to get out at break even at 142. but there was just no volume in this whatsoever. It looked really good, like we were going to have something, and then all of a sudden, no volume. And then it took me out, and then look what it did. Turned into a pretty good trade. It's since come all the way back now. But still, it was a very good opportunity for me to make some money on this. And unfortunately, it cut it short. But I did make more than I lost in the other account. I got $798.33. So that kind of eats up that $300 and some dollar loss, $370 some dollar loss. But you know, I ran this in my swing account, which is what I typically do. I don't trade these typically in a smaller account because I don't condone that. So even though my day trading account isn't small right now, I'm still not going to trade it. I'm keeping it with the rules and everything that I'm teaching you guys and what you're going to need to know to be a consistently profitable trader. So that's that. I know it was a lot of information, a lot of stuff to go over, but had to get it out there and had to get it over with. So you guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.